Test on one day. India, England, Australia. What a player! What a player! What a player!
Hello and welcome to Waadaplaya concussion sub-series, where we'll be previewing the World Test Championship Final between India and New Zealand, played at the AGS Ball, the Rose Bowl in Southampton. To know everything that's going to be happening in the World Test Championship with predictions, strengths, weaknesses, and everything about the WTC Final, I have Akash and Vishak, our resident experts, with me. Hi guys.
Hi Sanjay.
Hi.
Are we all excited? Are we all geared up for the first ICC tournament after the 2019 World Cup?
Kind of mixed feelings. I mean, excited, yeah, that it's an India final versus New Zealand, one of the best teams in the world. But slightly disappointed with the weather front. So let's hope that weather doesn't play a dampener and we get to see a very good test match.
Definitely excited, but sad that it's just one test which is going to decide this after all this entire World Test Championship. Hopefully we get a full game and a proper result, and a single team gets crowned as the World Test Championship, and hopefully it's India.
Yeah, all we can hope for is a good test match to happen. Let's quickly start with the squads for the all-important final. Being played in Southampton between June 18th and 22nd. Remember, there is a reserve day. The reserve day is to make up for any time lost during the first 5 days. But looking at the weather, it does look like it will come into play. Both the teams have announced their 15-member squad, so let's jump into it straight away. I see Blackcaps having Kane Williamson, their most important batsman, the captain, Blundell, Bold, Conway. We need to be scared of Conway probably. Colin de Grandhomme, the man with the best haircut we've seen for a while. Matt Henry, Carl Jamieson, Latham, Nichols, Ajaz Patel, a surprise considering Santner was the first choice. Tim Southee, Ross Taylor, Neil Wagner, BJ Watling, Will Young. And the India squad, not many surprises, I think. Kohli, Sharma, Gill, Pujara, Rahane, Bihari, Rishabh Pant, Riddhiman Saha as a backup wicketkeeper, Ashwin, Jadeja, Bumrah, Ishant Sharma, Shami, Umesh Yadav, that is a bit of a surprise maybe, and Mohammad Siraj. Right, so these are the squads from both the teams. Akash, starting with you. What is the playing 11 you are expecting from the Blackcaps?
Okay, first of all, no experiments from Blackcaps. So the New England series has gone by. It was all about practice for them. Now it's going to be full strength 11. So starting with, of course, Devon Conway, the terror man. He seems to be in rollicking form. First two tests, brilliant tests. So hopefully India can get him early. Along with him, of course, the dependable Tom Latham. Yeah, he's the other opener for them. Followed by the evergreen, the best of them, Kane Williamson, their skipper. And you have Ross Taylor, who would like to have this, final championship in his belt before maybe he can go on his swan song. Followed by, at number 5, Henry Nicholls. He seems to be in very good form, so he will retain his place out there. 6 is a bit of a dicey role for them. Probably Grandhomme, considering the conditions, weather around, rain around, the ball might move about a bit. But I would be tempted to play Ajaz Patel ahead of him, just to give one spinner in there, because they are definitely not going to drop any of their 4 seamers who are going to make up the 11. So it will be Watling at number 7, who's their keeper, followed by all of their 4 pacers, which is Southee, Bould, Wagner, and Kyle Jamieson. So the only toss-up for me is, depending on the weather and the conditions in the 22 yards, it will be either Colin de Grandhomme or Ajaz Patel. That will be the New Zealand 11.
I must say that for a country which has population half of Delhi, they are already a winner if they are making it to a World Test Championship final. Vishak, I must say, just on Ajaz Patel, he looked a bit like Jadeja, just slightly bulkier, but and his action was also very similar to Jadeja. Any surprises, Vishak, you see with the 11 which Akash is suggesting?
No, I don't see any surprise. As Akash mentioned, they'll play their 4 seamers. The only thing I see is a little bit of change in the 11. Playing in the lineup, BJ Watling playing at 6, and then Jamieson might play at 7, and then the bowlers, because Ajaz Patel is not an accomplished batsman, so I don't see him playing at 6. That could be the only thing which I see. Otherwise, I agree with the playing 11.
Okay. Why don't you take us through the expected playing 11 for the WTC final? And we've had the offline discussions as to who may or may not play. Vishak?
Yeah, I'm surprised that India have selected only two openers in their squad. So those two are definite to play, which is Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill. I think they should have had a backup opener in case if somebody gets injured here. I don't think if they are looking at Anuma Vihari as an opener, but Anuma Vihari has not had a good series even in the county championship. He played around 5 matches and his average was around 19 and he had got only 150. So I'm not sure how ready he is considering all that. Even though people say he might be familiar with the conditions, he doesn't look in good form. So I would still go with Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill. And at number 3 is Cheteshwar Pujara, who is dependable. And at 4, is Virat Kohli. He has not scored 100 for a while, so I expect him to come good. And he would want to prove his detractors wrong by scoring good in the finals of a World Championship. And at number 5 is Ajinkya Rahane, and who has come good always in crunch situations. So we would expect him to come good at number 5. And at number 6 would be Rishabh Pant. He is in rollicking form in the last 1 year. And at number 7 will be Ravindra Jadeja, who will be an all-rounder. And number 8 is one spot which would be, depending on the conditions, Ravichandran Ashwin or Siraj. If the weather is going to play spoil sport and it's going to be cloudy, I would be tilting to go towards Mohammad Siraj. Otherwise, if it goes for a proper 5-day test match without any weather forecast over there, then I would be tilted to go with Ashwin, because the curator has already mentioned that from the 3rd day onwards, it will turn a bit. So the weather will play a part in deciding the number 8. And 9, 10 and 11 will be Mohammad Shami, Jasprit Bumrah and Ishant Sharma.
Debatable point I see is whether you play Siraj or Ishant Sharma, and whether you play one spinner, and if we place one spinner, whether that's Ashwin or Jadeja. And if we go ahead and play 2 spinners, then obviously Vihari would be dropped. So what do you think they will go ahead with, considering the inclement weather around?
I think it's going to be completely dependent on weather. If they forecast that it's going to be raining all 6 days, then I don't see a reason why they will have to play 2 spinners. It makes no sense. Rather have 4 seamers go at the batsman all the time, and then have Ravindra Jadeja in there who can bowl quickly, get through his over quickly to work on the overrate part of it. But your 4 seamers have to be at the New Zealand batsman all the time. It's very, very harsh and unfortunate for Ravichandran Ashwin. But if this is the weather which is going to be as it is going to be predicted, I definitely don't see why we have to play 2 spinners. But if the forecast is better and you do see a chances of a proper 5-day test match, then definitely I'll have both my spinners in there. In both scenarios, I don't see Vihari playing in the 11. So it will be Rishabh Pant at 6, 7 as Vishak mentioned will be Jadeja, 8 will be a toss-up depending on the weather. But it is a bit harsh, but true that Ashwin may be dropped depending on the weather conditions.
But Vishak, tell me, if the weather is going to be rainy and few hours or sessions may be lost, and maybe it will be difficult for batters, then wouldn't you play an extra batsman? I know a lot of our success has come in because of having 5 bowlers, a relatively longish tail, but lower bottom batsmen have performed well for us. Wouldn't you think that we go an extra batsman rather than having 4 seamers, because one would typically be underbowled in these conditions, I would imagine.
See, if you see, Ravindra Jadeja is a handy bat. He can bat. He bats decently. He can bowl you that. He can do that holding role while he bowls. And mind you, is a very good fielder, and he can save a lot of runs in the field. So you definitely need to have him. Considering him as a very good batsman, and he can play at number 7, I don't think India need to go with this additional batsman here. Because when you have Ravindra Jadeja, who is a very utility cricketer, is a proper utility cricketer, I think we should go with him. And the only thing I'm a little surprised is they did not if they wanted 4 pacers, they could have gone with Shardul Thakur, who can actually bat a bit as well.
Yeah, Akash, if we are playing 4 fast bowlers, our tail would be really long. And considering number 11, Neil Wagner, how he bats, I think how the tail performs could be the crucial factor.
It's just a one test match. It's not like you have a series for the World Test Championship. Go for the kill. Go with your best playing 11 possible. Depending on the conditions, depending on the pitch, it's always better to go with your best 11. Don't think about having one. According to me, think about having one extra batsman just to see if your top 5 fails, then that number 6 can come and save you. That shouldn't be the thought process. Go for the kill. Expect your top 6 batsmen to perform the way they have been throughout this championship, and then you have your 4 fast bowlers who have done brilliantly throughout this last couple of years. Expect them to run through the New Zealand lineup so that you have your best in both the departments, and then of course you have one Ravindra Jadeja who can fit into all the 3 departments: batting, bowling and fielding. So I think that's the way they should be thinking about, not have the extra cushion of the batsman or not have the extra cushion of extra spinner out there. So keep these things out of the thinking. One test match, one chance, go with the best 11.
Players to watch out for on the New Zealand side, which are the ones we need to be afraid of?
Kane Williamson, he is the class batsman. So he'll be the number 1 player. India need to get him as soon as possible to have any chance to win this test match. Devon Conway. Already he has shown what is capable of in the 2 matches he played against England, and he has been the man of the series there as well. Then their pace attack. They arguably have one of the best pace attacks going around right now, and good amount of variety. You have left arm option who can Boult who can swing the ball, and even Wagner is now starting to swing the ball as well. When you see the England series, he is usually a kind of a bowler who bangs it in and tries to intimidate the batsman. Now, when he is starting to swing the ball, he's added something into his armory, which is actually scary. And if you see some of our Indian batsmen like Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma, they are susceptible to the incoming ball. So I think Boult and Wagner will definitely be someone to watch out for. And Tim Southee definitely with a lot of right-handers and with his outswing, I think he'll be one of the players to watch out for as well. And if he gets going, with India having a history of getting all out within a session in recent past, that could definitely happen.
And our man Akash has very cleverly put all the 11 Indian players as the players to watch. That's the way to go. He's got his India jersey on. Akash, I agree with Vishak. Neil Wagner, Tim Southee and Trent Boult. I mean, that is some bowling lineup.
Yeah, definitely. See, they are the terrorized batsmen basically. One swings the ball away, one swings the ball both ways. One's gonna hit you at any time during the day. They are that kind of a bowling attack which people need to be wary of at any point of time. So New Zealand's bowling attack is definitely good, but do not discount India's bowling attack. Over the years, India's pace bowling has come through at a very greater, there's a lot of improvement in there. And if you look at the likes of Bumrah, Shami, the way Ishant has improved throughout his career, and now how Siraj is coming up the ranks, they are no less than a New Zealand bowling attack. Even they can do exactly what New Zealand bowling attack can do. It's all about how the batsmen of both the sides handle this particular bowling on both the sides. So one bad session, this match is gone, the final is into the opposition's hands. It's very important that the batsmen apply themselves, look at the pitch, look at the conditions, apply themselves, and then post decent scores. I just hope that rain doesn't play spoil football. This is a very tempting final otherwise.
I think first day is more or less written off considering the weather. I think apart from second day, every other day, so let's assume it goes into the 6th day, every other day has got some or the other bad weather, rain around. Vishak, I look at New Zealand squad. One is they have 2 test matches under their belt. Their openers have done reasonably well, and they are quite compact compared to our Indian openers. And don't get me wrong, if Rohit Sharma gets going for 2 sessions, that would be it. This World Cup, this World Test Championship final is ours. But they are a bit loose, I would think, for English conditions. Vishak?
Shubman Gill, right? His main problem is hanging his bat outside the off stump. His weakness is mainly that. So both the openers have to start leaving a lot of balls outside off stump, especially against Southee, because he is predominantly an outswing bowler and he can easily nick you off pretty early. So you need to judge well and leave the ball well. And if you can survive the first session without much damage, definitely these two are very good stroke makers, and definitely, as you said, Rohit Sharma, if he survives the first session, then he can make merry and he can make any bowling attack look clueless. So he's such a kind of a batsman. And then if you see the batsman to follow, like Cheteshwar Pujara, he is bound to stay there. He's only going to stay there, and make other batsmen play around him. And it will be easier for the likes of Virat Kohli and Ajinkya Rahane, so that they can just build a score forward. So the openers definitely and as you said, England have played 2 test matches, and they have the better understanding of the conditions. So it will be definitely an advantage to New Zealand. But again, if you say India has practiced on this pitch for the last 1 week, they have played a couple of practice matches. But again, practice match. I'm not saying practice matches is equal to the test matches. Definitely, England and New Zealand have a better advantage, but India have been in this ground for a little longer. So hopefully that would play to our advantage.
Akash, I see India is contemplating 1 or 2 spinners. Would New Zealand be brave enough, considering Rishabh Pant in our side, to play Ajaz Patel, or will they play safe and go with Colin de Grandhomme?
It's all about the conditions. If you see that the forecast is going to be remaining the same for all 5 to 6 days, they would definitely play Grandhomme, because Grandhomme can swing the ball. He's a utility bowler and he's a good stroke maker as well. But considering his form, and if there is slightest chance that it's going to be a proper 5-day test match without any kind of a weather interruption, and with the curator confirming that there will be some spin in the pitch, then they might be tempted to play Ajaz Patel. Otherwise, I don't see a reason why they can play Ajaz Patel, especially considering that Rishabh Pant is a good stroke maker, and by the time he comes, it's pretty much like it's given. He attacks the spinners right from ball 1. So it wouldn't make too much sense for them. It's purely dependent on the conditions.
Akash, one thing I wanted to ask you. Were you surprised that Ajaz Patel was picked ahead of Mitchell Santner?
I think it's completely between. It's the similar kind of bowlers, both Ajaz Patel and Santner. But Santner off late has been very. The ball is going pretty much straight through. He's not much turned from his deliveries. But if you look at Ajaz Patel, even his domestic performance recently has been very good. He has been picking up wickets pretty consistently, and he's been in the squad in and around with the New Zealand team for quite some time. They've seen something in him which they feel, I think, is better than what Santner is doing, considering that Santner also had a finger injury in the recent series. So probably they believe that Santner has got much more grip in the ball and is able to turn the ball much more than Santner. That's the reason they're probably going ahead of Santner.
Vishak, do you think Kane Williamson will have the courage to do any sort of similar declaration what he did against England, where they had 3.5 runs an over and they didn't even try? I'm sure he's not doing any of that this time.
I don't think he'll do it against India, definitely, because he knows that if Rohit Sharma gets going, he can just finish. And we have very good stroke makers in Virat Kohli and Ajinkya and Rishabh Pant, mind you. He can just finish the game in a session, like how he did in Australia. So I don't think he will do such sporting declarations against India. Definitely, I don't think he'll do.
And I personally think that Neil Wagner would be really one of the key bowlers for New Zealand. Akash, on that point, is there a potential chance of him being a bit burnout? Because, back-to-back 3 test matches, bowling long spells in Lords, the game went pretty much 4 days, full days. Any chances of that happening? They've done really well rotating the players, 5-6 changes, and still winning the series against England. So I think they're well prepared, but any chances of burnout?
I'm surprisingly going to say no, because I've been observing Wagner from the last couple of years. He seems to be a man with 110% commitment. I don't know how he manages to do that. He can run in bowl 10 consecutive overs and bowl short balls after short balls after short balls at the batsman's rib cage without getting tired, at the same amount of pace as well. He's got that energy, he's got that rhythm going, and frankly I think he's going to be the bigger threat than Saudi or Bould. If India just concentrate on just leaving out Saudi and Bould, and they perhaps take Wagner lightly, that will bring their downfall. So it's very important that they keep their eye on Wagner as well. Don't discard him just because he can't swing the ball. He's shown that side of the bowling also in England right now. He was known to be bowling at the batsman at the rib cages, but in England he started to swing the ball now. So that's a very, very big threat for the Indian batsmen. So all 3 bowlers, don't underestimate them. I would say don't underestimate even Colin de Grandhomme. He's got a reputation.
Kyle Jamieson as well. Not even Kyle Jamieson
for that matter. Colin Graham has got a 5-wicket haul against India when we visited New Zealand. So it's quite possible that everybody is a threat out there. Whoever can move the ball a bit here and there, it's a threat for Indian team, because we are known to have problems against moving deliveries. So very important to keep our eyes open on all the bowlers.
And I was going to say that, we picked up lots of wickets against England, but that was Akshar Patel and Ashwin, who may not actually play. Fast bowlers have not had much of workout. They've been under quarantine, went back home. So they might be a bit undercooked, I feel.
He's not bowled. I didn't see him bowling short balls. Maybe he's preserving that for the World Test Championship. You never know. Now he's added that swing also into his armory. If he starts doing both the things against India, it would be a scary proposition for us. And you cannot neither play him of the back foot or front foot in that case. You would be confused. You would be caught in the crease, and it could be big troubles.
We need to have a word about Kohli. What do you think? Is this the time he's going to fire? I know you guys are Bangalore RCB big fans, but we need a big one from him. Even a 70-80 in crunch situation, I think, as long as it helps India win the game, or even if we are in a losing situation, prevent us lose the game, then that will be great for us, right, Akash?
Yeah, absolutely. Big game, big players have to step up. And this is the big game, because we don't know when the next WTC final might be there. Will it be there or not? We're not sure yet. So this is probably the one chance. He has not had one ICC trophy in his cabinet. This is the chance. Lead from the front with the bat, and then make sure that India picks up that miss and the championship. That should be his motto.
Is there any point in even asking for predictions? Let's assume that there is rain. More likely there will be a draw. But predictions, starting with Akash. Vishak. Let's go with you first. What do you think? India's going to trap this one?
I would say two things. My heart says India. But since New Zealand have a better advantage of the conditions, know of the conditions, I think they will definitely have the advantage. But again, it's a toss-up between their bowling and our batting. Whoever comes trumps would win.
It's going to be session by session. Whoever is going to win more number of sessions is going to win this match. I would say both the bowlings are equally strong. Both the batting units are equally susceptible. So again, as Vishak mentioned, it's going to be about how one bowling performs against the other's batting. I would say slightly New Zealand are in the favourite zone, only because they have had 2 test matches already played in England. But as heart says, India.
And I have made this prediction, but this is the third time I'm making this. I think Virat Kohli is going to win 3 cups this year: the ICC World Test Championship Final, the IPL when it resumes, and the World T20 as and when it happens wherever. So even if this is a draw, this would count as one, because you can't help with the weather. But I have very good feeling that India is going to grab this one. I think our bowlers will do well, and I'm sure between Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, and Rishabh Pant, there would be someone who puts their hands up and scores a big one. So
there's one man I think we're all missing out, and that is Ajinkya Rahane. He's got this very good habit of playing in crunch matches, especially in England. I still remember that Lord's wicket, which had no difference between the lawn, outside the pitch and on the pitch. He scored a brilliant 100. Australia second match, forget the 36. He's there for you. So I'm pretty sure that he's the man to watch out for. All the eyes will be on Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, and the Rishabh Pants. But watch out for Ajinkya Rahane. I think he's going to be at the key difference here.
One more from the bowling front, which many people will not acknowledge, is Vishak Sharma. So he has improved a lot over the last 2 or 3 years. He's pitching the ball up, and he is moving the ball both ways. If he gets going, he could be a threat for the New Zealand batsman. So I think he would be the dark horse there.
I remember you mentioned the Lord's game. He picked up 7 wickets, wasn't it? In that Lord's Test match, bowling lots of bounces. But hopefully he wouldn't be required to bowl lots of bounces with the weather around. I think pitching the ball up is what's going to get us a lot of wickets. Anything else you guys want to add? Are we good here?
Absolutely. Just hope that we have a good game on hand. Keep the rain apart. Just have proper 5 or 6 days game. Let us have a winner. I mean, come on. We have waited for this for 2 years. Let's have a winner.
We cannot have a draw for the life of me. Even if this is a 2-day test match, all both teams, getting out for 100, 150. We just need a result, even if it's New Zealand. We need a decent game. We need a result. Otherwise, the whole 2-year window of multiple games, everyone waiting for this World Test Championship final would not go down well with the fans. But let's hope the weather would turn around and we have a decent game of cricket. So, right, Akash and Vishak, thank you very much for your time. And for our viewers, just remind everyone that we'll be doing live post-match reviews of each day during the World Test Championship final. So we hope you will be able to join us then, interact with us, drop in a comment, suggestion, anything you want for our channel, and we'll try and respond back and accommodate any suggestions you have. And if you haven't done so, and if you like our work, please do subscribe to our channel, spread the word around, and we'll see you very soon. Till then, take care and be safe.